Happy Thursday, ladies and gents. Today we are going to be talking about the protocol I use to rebuild degenerated discs. So before I knew I had regenerated discs in L4, L5, I found that out through x-rays. I found that out through chiropractor. I found that out through deep tissue. I found it out through trigger point work. Because my whole left leg went numb, I lost feeling, I lost sensation at about 80%. Wasn't sure what was going on. I've tried all the physical routes, so we had to go into x-rays, found out L4, L5 was highly compressed and degenerated. So what do? Asked one of my best friends, Alex, also my coach. Hey, no problem, got a protocol for it. Of course. He has a solution to almost anything that I know. So I'm going to be looking at my phone because I don't remember all these protocols again, like we've discussed before. And on this one, we're going to do it in conjunction with, I did it in conjunction with decomp therapy. So basically you sit on a table, they wrap a strap around your hip, and then there's a kind of like a band that goes around your waist, and it kind of pulls at a certain pound. I worked up to 100 pounds, but I started at 50 pounds. And then I worked up day by day, on top of having 3 chiropractic adjustments a week, and then doing decomp therapy 3 times a week. And that helped me substantially. So the first week, second week, I started to notice some big results paired with the protocol that I'm going to share with you guys, which is peptides, the highest dose CBD in the world, and red light therapy. And I think that's it. Enki and Clotho 1 was recommended to me. I didn't have access to it yet, so I didn't get to add that into this protocol, even though I will be sharing that here. But good luck actually sourcing the real Clotho 1 and Enki, which is kind of like a endogenous opioid growth factor to modulate pain. So as we start here, the protocol is going to start with Cartalax, bioregulator. Difference between bioregulator and a peptide is bioregulator is actually a smaller chain of amino acids than a peptide. Peptide can be, I think, as high as 40. Anything less would almost be a bioregulator. But long story short, that's my understanding. I'm not a doctor, forgive me if I'm not right. But I do know that a bioregulator has a smaller chain of amino acids, making it more selective, depending on the person and their chemical binding affinity and blah, blah, blah. But long story short, we're going to use Cartalax. I did it at 500 micrograms. And you can't really inject in the spine yourself. And I didn't trust anyone to go by my spine, even a doctor. So I just did it in my love handles as far back as I could do it. And that would build up enough chemical pressure in that area to drive the reduction of inflammation and start healing that soft tissue. And with the decomp therapy of kind of expanding and closing of the discs in that area, proteins and other things and fluid could go back in those discs to help them kind of rebuild and regenerate. So it worked in synergy together. And with that being said, Cartalax I did at 500 micrograms every single day in the AM. And then you're going to pair it with, of course, the Wolverine stack, so BPC 157. And I was recommended to do it at 500 micrograms. I did go up to 1 milligram, and I still do that to kind of still heal my knees. They've been taking a hit, especially that I've been walking over 5 to 7 miles a day. Just can't sit still here in Brazil, but no harm, no foul. There's no right or wrong drug. You just use whatever you're trying to solve. Use that amount or that dosage for whatever you're trying to solve. So for this one, we're rebuilding degenerated discs. So Cartalax 500 micrograms, BPC 1 milligram, TB 500 1 milligram. I put that into the same syringe, and then I'm going to inject it. I switch sides, so I would go on the right side one day, and then I go on the left side the next day, and then just cycle with doing decomp therapy 3 times a week, and a chiropractic adjustment right after 3 times a week. So I use the company in Irvine, California. They did me right, let me do a payment plan, and I was very appreciative of that. And I probably got to go back because sometimes I feel a little stiffness, but now that I train more like an athlete and a lot more functional, I notice a little less pain, but notice more pain in my knees now that I'm stuck at around 200 pounds. But at being, just under 5'10", that's somewhat a little heavy, depending if I'm trying to be functional, be kind of like an athlete. So what we're gonna do on that, after those 3, we're gonna add in Be Jolly. So Brett, amazing guy, he's always taking care of me. You're gonna do the injections, and then rub the Be Jolly CBD, and I'd recommend his highest dose. I think it was 42,000 milligrams of CBD in 4 ounces of his cream or lotion. And I would rub a thin layer over the lower back, right over L4, L5. And then I would get my Jove red light panel that I bought used, and put it behind me and sit there for 20 minutes. And then I noticed a major difference. And it took about a week, 2 weeks, but I started noticing easier to move, less pain, slowly regaining feeling back in my legs, sensations, which I was like, wow, nothing else was helping before. So we're kind of onto something. And the lotion is not cheap. I mean, you're as high as $200 or as low as $100, depending which one you get, but you won't regret it. He's the best in the world with CBD. He really cares and is passionate. You'll see him handwrite cards. You'll see him post your videos on his story. Now he's even doing stories on showing him how to make it on his Instagram lives. So that's great, transparency. So on top of the Cartalax, Wolverine, CBD lotion, red light therapy, decomp, chiropractic adjustment, now we're gonna add in something called Alflutop. Most people don't know about Alflutop. I believe Alex still has a video. I don't know if it's TPC Army on YouTube. He did take it down, but it's back up, his YouTube channel. And Alflutop, I think it's a 5-minute explanation of what it is. I believe it's from Romania, and Romania or Russia. And basically it collagenates, or it actually can rebuild cartilage. It's a marine grade cartilage rebuilder, and the fancy way of what it does, chondroprotective to inhibit hyaluronidase excess, restores chondrocytes homeostasis in damaged tissue. Forgive me, that was a tongue twister. And stimulates regenerative processes at cartilage level, adjusting synovial fluid, which also Deca can do on low dosages or high dosages. Synthesis and stimulates superoxide dismutase, inhibits occurrence of superoxide free radicals. So Alflutop, when I healed my knees with that, I would have to go right into the AI joint, and I would inject it right in there. Most people said I was crazy. Rebuilt my knees, was able to walk again, because before I lost the sensation, my right leg had atrophied. I don't know what happened. I wasn't able to walk, work out. It was bad. With Alflutop and just Wolverine, I was able to rebuild it. That was before there was really much on Cartalax. So Alflutop, because I'm not able to go into that joint in the spine, we're going to do it subq. It'll have enough chemical signaling and reduction of inflammation and helping with the rebuilding of the fluid in the disc, that I did that subq too. Some people get a reaction, so I started with half a ml, and they come in little ampules. You have to buy them from Romania, and I did 0.5, and I would do that every night, subq. I luckily wouldn't get a reaction, no redness, no swelling. Super thankful for that, and that was next added on the list. And you do 1 ampule in the evening, and then I would do red light therapy again in the evening. So I do red light in the morning, red light at night, and that really helped me. I think that was the game changer on top of all that. So Cartalax, 500 micrograms, BPC 157, 1 milligram, TB 500, 1 milligram, same syringe. I would do that in the AM, and then rub the Be Jolly lotion on L4, L5, and then do the red light therapy, sit there for 20 minutes. Then in the evening, I would do the Alflutop. Then I'd rub another thing of Be Jolly on there and do another red light therapy, even though that wasn't recommended, just to kind of speed up the process. And after 4 weeks, I was able to have full sensation in my legs. I did lose engagement of my quad because the brain basically knew, or the body and the brain knew, I couldn't have it. I didn't have any feeling. I had no sensation, so I didn't need to engage my quad. So with the help of another chiropractor, Eric, great guy, we did some weird hippie shit. He had me hum Star Wars while he was tapping on my leg and then tapping on my brain. So while tapping on this, on my leg, and some weird shit, but it worked. 30 seconds to a minute later, boom, I was able to engage my quad again. And I was really worried, and here we are. Hippies are onto something. Red light therapy, walking barefoot on the grass, hugging trees, so you're grounding. 30% hippie, 50% bodybuilder, and eating like a great guy, and then 20% entrepreneur. Boom. And I think that, what was also recommended, throw in some Deca. I didn't do it because it reacted with my test, so I was getting acne on my lower back, and I just didn't like it. If I had enough money, I could have done the cell factors and exosomes, but at that time, I didn't. So, with the cell factors and exosomes, that would be the game changer. With the Clotho-1 and the MET-Enki. The MET-Enki is an endogenous opioid growth factor that modulates pain, reward, and motivation while improving immune functioning and lowering global inflammation. MET-Enki is not talked about. I believe Dr. G has a video out. He's the only one that Alex kind of trusts making the MET-Enki and the clotho-protein peptide 1 at the right, chemical makeup. And that one you have to, I don't even know who can really get that, but it's an inside source that anyone else who's selling Clotho is not the proper clotho-protein 1. So don't let anybody fool you. If I'm wrong, forgive me, but that's what I've been told. I trust Alex with my life. He has helped change my life from all these protocols to just in general. So with that being said, we'll run through it one more time. Cartalax 500 micrograms in the AM. In the same syringe, BPC 1 milligram in the AM, TB 500 1 milligram in the AM. Same syringe, injected in the love handle. Then we're gonna rub Be Jolly lotion on with the red light therapy. Then 3 days a week, decomp therapy and chiropractic adjustment for 4 weeks. And then in the evening, Alflutop 1 ampule, 0.5, Be Jolly lotion and red light therapy again for another 20 minutes. If an added bonus, add in Met Anki if you can source it at 50 micrograms, subq PM, and then Clotho Protein 1, 100 micrograms subq in the PM. Infrequently, if you wanted to add in Deca, 50 to 100 milligrams. Of course, it has to be prescribed by your doctor. This is not medical advice. My doctor recommended it to me and prescribed it. And then cell factors and exosomes. But if you can get access to the proper cell factors and exosomes, good luck. You can always DM me and I can kind of help on that. But other than that, I mean, that's the protocol. Like, rebuild some discs, be able to move again, walk. Of course, if it's on a deeper level and it's more than 2 discs, 3 discs, 4 discs, depending on how degenerated they are, depending on your belief if it can get healed or not, depending on your meditation level, may not work for some people. They don't cellularly change because they haven't spiritually changed. It doesn't mean it's always going to help if you just spiritually change, but for me, it worked. So I'm super thankful. I regained all my feeling and I'm able to work out again and just live a more normal life. And I hope this can help you guys, and this guidance, if you want to apply it, you know, feel free to message, comment, DM me if you were to have any more in-depth questions, and we can go from there. Hopefully this helps you guys. I appreciate it, love all you guys. Thank you for watching my content. This one's a little longer than I like, 17-minute video, but I had to go more in depth. And good luck rebuilding your degenerated discs.